Just across the Mississippi River lies a diamond whose shine never fades.
My parents ran the Little League in Bluff Siding, where I grew up, and so started playing there, and I just fell in love with the game.
Baseball was it was in the summer, so you were free and you got to, spend the whole summer at the field.
The team that I grew up playing with, that Zach and I played on, was a group of our best friends. And so going to different tournaments and playing at different games, we were just kind of a ragtag group of kids.
I think I spent most summers at his house because the baseball field was right there. And we just hung out constantly, I guess.
Zak Fellman and Dan Watson have been best friends since childhood. Baseball brought them together as kids, and it's also what's kept them in the lineup as adults. Not as ball players patrolling the green grass, mind you, but something a little more colorful.
As we started to kind of develop careers and both went the entrepreneur route, we're like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we could do business together?
Art, I think, is something I always did, for the fun of it, growing up.
One day, Zach called me up and said, hey, Dan, I'm thinking about doing painted bats. You want to do it with me?
I just kind of got the creative itch to try something else. So I thought about it for 10 minutes after thinking, and then called Dan, and he said yes, and then we started. So, it was about a 10-minute thought process.
I couldn't say no. I mean, this is stuff that we did when we were 12, right? It was so nostalgic, and it took me all of 2 seconds to say yes, I'm in.
Zach's power with the palette, combined with Dan's knowledge of the numbers, led to the creation of Pillbox Bat Company, a small outfit in Winona, Minnesota, that specializes in custom baseball products.
And the most simplified way I can say it, sell what we do here for art. Sell Zach, sell his talents.
We saw a very big hole that we could fill with memorabilia and the art side of all that stuff.
On a daily basis, we probably churn anywhere from 20 to 40 billets. They start out billets and then obviously become the bats. So it's just a lot of churning on our lathe here and sanding and getting dusty.
Over the years, Zach's creativity combined with Dan's strategy has provided Pillbox with an unstoppable heart of the order. Partnerships with the Major League Baseball Players Association, the Negro Leagues, and the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Most of my business calls and conversations go to, this one time when I was in Little League, and we start swapping baseball stories. Nothing to do with business, but the love of the game kind of comes out in those conversations, and it just naturally goes into figuring out a way to work together and create something cool, whether it's for their company or for the fans.
The designers here have done some pretty awesome things, and it's just really cool to see that stuff go out the door.
From the sandlot to sanding, and from the plate to the paint, Zach and Dan have captured the nostalgia of childhood and given it a fresh spin. For all the strategy and analytics baseball has to offer, the game remains simple both on and off the field. You always start at home and hope that somehow, some way, you'll find your way back.
It's so surreal. You're like, how did we get here?
We're always going to be baseball fans. So to see, our favorite players or, Hall of Fame players even that we didn't even get to see and put their names on bats, so it's pretty cool.
We were on separate paths for quite a while, but Pillbox kind of brought us back together. Not only is it business with my best friend, but it's baseball, which we both adore. And so, it was just kind of the perfect storm.
And joined by Brownie, David Brown, in his baseball tie.
That's
very
just
nice.
for this occasion.
Absolutely. It's called Pillbox Bat
Yes.
Company. Why Pillbox? Where'd that come from?
Well, Zach and Dan were trying to think of names for the company, and they wanted something that kind of evoked vintage baseball. So they were going through a bunch of different terms, and they found this old ballpark, turn of the 20th century in St. Paul, Minnesota. It was so small, they called it the Pillbox. In fact, the rumor has it, it was so small that balls hit over the fence only counted as doubles. That is how small it was. It's quirky, it's unique, and so Pillbox became the name.
Great name. All right. They have kind of a relationship with Major League Baseball, but they're trying to further that, right?
Yeah, the next step for them and the clear goal for them is to get an official licensing agreement with Major League Baseball. You saw in the story, they do have an agreement with the Players Association, so they can put players' names on bats. You saw guys like Francisco Lindor, New York Mets. They have New York Met colors, but they can't specifically say New York Mets because that is a trademark of MLB. But they do have good relationships so far. They set up a kiosk outside the All-Star game last year in Colorado. They've done commemorative bats for a couple teams. They've been commissioned to do that. Minnesota Twins got some commemorative bats after they broke the single-season home run record a couple years ago. Pete Alonso of the New York Mets, they commissioned a special bat for him from Pillbox. So there's stuff there. They know who Pillbox is. Major League Baseball knows what Pillbox does. Now it's about making it official, and that can open up so many different opportunities.
And it's just cool stuff.
Very, very cool, very colorful. It's just awesome artwork to see.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
This has been Midco Sports Magazine, presented by Build Your Base with Beef Sports Nutrition and Training Program.